Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun, and this is going to be the next video I have in my Super Smash Bros. 4 series of videos. If you remember back when I did my top 10 list and top 10 Nintendo characters I wanted to see, the updated list I did like a month or so ago, I said I was going to make this a series. I was going to make top 10 lists, prediction videos, idea videos, and etc, etc, etc. This is going to be the next video in that series, and like I said last time, it's going to be the top 5 third-party characters that I would like to see as possible choices to be included in the next Super Smash Bros. Let's cut to the chase, and let's get right to the list. Cue intro! Number 5 on this top 5 list for the top 5 third-party characters I want to see as possible choices in Super Smash Bros. 4 is going to be a tied choice between Lloyd Irving from the Tales of Symphonia games and Crest Elbane from the Tales of Fantasia game. Both Tales series games, various RPGs that have been on Nintendo platforms and the series itself, Tales in general, actually has quite a bit of popularity. Especially those games on Nintendo, like Tales of Fantasia was the first game in the entire series, and that was back on the Super Nintendo, and it also got a Game Boy Advance game, like an updated kind of remake of it. And then Tales of Symphonia 1 was on the GameCube, and the second Tales of Symphonia was on the Wii, and they are pretty well, especially the Tales of Symphonia games, are pretty well loved series. You know, it's a pretty well loved series by Nintendo fans. And with Namco on board to actually help create Super Smash Bros. 4 alongside Sakurai, we may possibly see a Namco rep in the game. And I would personally rather see a Tails character in the game than someone like Pac-Man. I know Pac-Man has, you know, the popularity as a legendary video game character, and even though he might be more likely to be in the game than a Tails character or a Tekken character or, you know, Dig Dug or anything, I would personally, my own personal choice would be to rather have a Tales of Symphonia, Tales of, you know, Fantasia, a Tails character. You know, they're from RPGs, they have weapons, they have the little gadgets, items, their weapons. Their movesets are practically made for a fighting game. And with Namco on board, it makes it more likely we'll possibly see a character, and like I said, I'm starting to love the Tails series, so me personally would want to see a Tails character. It could be Crest Elbane, since he's the original hero of the entire Tales series, or it could be Lloyd Irving, because he's pretty much one of the more popular, you know, lead characters in a Tales game, especially on the Nintendo side. And their movesets are practically made for them. They both use swords, which fit in with the Fire Emblem cast, with Link and Toon Link, and, you know, all those types of characters. And they had the magical abilities, and they had the items they would use in the game. So they have a well-rounded moveset from the company that's actually helping Sakurai make the game. And both those characters have history in Tales games that are Nintendo-oriented, and like I said, they're both popular characters, especially Lloyd Irving. And like I said, they're tied because I don't know who they want to go with. Would they want to go with the more popular Nintendo character like Lloyd Irving, or would they want to go with the original guy and, you know, Crest Elbane? Or would they want to go with anyone else? I don't know. But like I said, my number 5 choice on this list is a Tales character, namely Lloyd Irving or Crest Elbane. And those are my personal Namco reps, since they're helping make the game, and the series itself, at least certain games, does have history with Nintendo, and the characters would be a natural fit for the Smash Bros. Fighting universe. Number 4 on this list is going to go to another RPG character, and Sora from the Kingdom Hearts series from Square Enix. Now, this series has mainly been, you know, since its inception on Sony platforms, but it has had around 4 games since it was created that actually put it that actually were Nintendo oriented, that were on Nintendo consoles. It started with Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance back in 2004, and like 2009, I believe, or 2008, we had 358 over 2 days on the DS, and then like 2010 or 11, we got Recoded on the DS, which was like an updated phone game, and just recently, last year, in 2012, we got Kingdom Hearts. Was it 2012? Yeah, I think it was last year, 2012. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS, and the series has had its ties to Nintendo as well as Sony. It has just as many ties to Nintendo as it does Sony, basically, at this point. And we're coming up to Kingdom Hearts 3, which, even though it hasn't been, announced for, the Wii U, it could still possibly be on the Wii U. And the fan base is clamoring for it, and it is popular there. And what better way to advertise for it to get the game in there, to get the game ready and make the fan base advertise it for them, than to put the lead character of the series, Sora, into Super Smash Bros. 4. Square Enix tends to have average acquaintances with Nintendo from time to time. They did more so in the past, but they're starting. They vary nowadays, and Kingdom Hearts has a Nintendo fan base on it, especially on the handhelds, and one day we might see it on home consoles, maybe Wii U, maybe the next one, I don't know. And the character itself, like I said about Chris Elbane and Lloyd Irving from the Tales of Symphonia series, they're characters that are basically have movesets that basically fit so well into Super Smash Bros. Sora has the Keyblade. He'd basically be another type of sword user. He has his various magical abilities. His moveset would have to be toned down because it couldn't have any Disney references. He wouldn't be able to do any summons unless he summoned like Square characters, unless they kind of cameoed, like him summoning like a slime or a chocobo or something in there, summoning actual Square characters rather than the Disney mascots. But that's a way to work around. You can basically work around with his Blizzard and Fire Magic, the Keyblade, and its type of powers, and you can really make a very well, groomed moveset for Smash Brothers with Sora, and he's quite a popular character anyways from a series that a lot of Nintendo fans actually do like I said before. He fit in so well with the Square Enix, support for Nintendo, even though they don't do it as much now, but it's still possibly there, especially for the future. And it's from a popular third-party series, and a popular third-party company. He, like I said, he'd just be a natural fit. And me personally, I love the Kingdom Hearts series. I love it. I adore the Kingdom Hearts series. And I'm looking forward to 3, and I hope they do get it on Wii U. I hope it gets to Nintendo home consoles. And this is a good way to actually get ready for that if they did put them in the game. Number 3 on this top 5 list is going to be another tied position. This time for the two Castlevania lead characters, Simon Belmont and Trevor Belmont. Simon Belmont may have a little bit more leeway in this, but Trevor Belmont is just as big of a possible character as Simon really is for this, this possible choice. And I say this because Castlevania has a lot of history with Nintendo. Dating all the way back to the NES. They had games on the NES, they had games on the Super Nintendo, the N64, the Game Boy, I think the Game Boy Color. There was Game Boy Advance games, there was GameCube games, there was one Wii game, the Wii Virtual Console, the DS, and now the latest game, Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate on the 3DS, has both of these characters, Simon Belmont and Trevor Belmont, as lead characters, and both of them have showed up numerous times in the series. You may think that Simon Belmont was the main character in the series, and he basically is. He is the major character in the series. That's why I said he might have a little more leeway in this tied position. But you can't really count Trevor Belmont out because he's just as relevant in the series as well. And they both have recent appearances on the, the 3DS with Mirrors of Fate. And basically, it's from a popular third-party franchise that has a lot of, from Konami, that has a lot of history with Nintendo, has a lot of love from Nintendo fans, and their popular characters, Trevor Belmont and Simon Belmont, to basically warrant their inclusion in the series, and moveset possibilities from the whip to the various magical spells like the crosses, the holy water, and all the stuff they could use, all their little gadgets they could use in the games, would make for a good moveset. And like I said, it really works because of how much history they have with the company, on Nintendo systems. Castlevania does, especially those two, and what their moveset possibility could be, and their popularity. So a Castlevania character, namely Simon Belmont and Trevor Belmont, would quite work in the Smash Brothers. Number 2 on this top 5 list, sorry about that, is going to go to Bomberman, who also is now a Konami rep, but he used to be Hudson Soft. Now, Bomberman is a video game character that has quite a bit of history with Nintendo, dating all the way back to the Super Nintendo. I don't know if it had any NES games. I think it was just Super Nintendo, like the Super Bomberman series. It had some N64 games. I think it was on the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube. There was like Bomberman Land on the Wii. There was like 1 or 2 DS games. It has a lot of history with Nintendo, just like I said Castlevania did. And he is a well-beloved character from a company that kind of is, is dead now, because he's basically owned by Konami now. But I would like to see him so much because I love the Bomberman games. I grew up with like Super Bomberman on the Super Nintendo, and I have played various games since then with the series. And he is a well-beloved character. He is probably one of the more legendary old-school video game characters. And he would represent like a dead company, and not saying that's really a positive thing, but it's like a company that has since disappeared and fallen out of the industry, even though he's now owned by Konami. Which, being a Konami rep, obviously Snake returning, or Simon Belmont, Trevor Belmont, a Castlevania rep would make a lot more sense from their perspective to put in there than the character like Bomberman. I personally like to pick Bomberman more because I love the character so much and I love the games quite a bit. And he'd have a moveset that's perfect. He'd be able to use a lot of bombs. Like we see Link have bombs, and that's only a part of his moveset. You can also get bombs as items. Bomberman's moveset would be specifically bombs. About at least 80, 85, 90% of his moveset would be bomb oriented. He'd be able to do his punches and kicks and everything, but a lot of his moveset would focus around bombs. And I think that'd be kind of unique and different for a character for Smash Bros. Because we've never really seen that yet. And he is quite popular, and I have seen quite a bit of demand for him. So there's always a shot that he has. There's always a chance that he has a shot, for Super Smash Bros. 4. The number 1 character on this top 5 list of the third-party characters I want to see potentially make it into Super Smash Bros. 4 is easily going to be Travis Touchdown from the No More Heroes series on the Wii. Now, he might not have as much history as the past 4 spots I've clearly named, the past 6 characters I basically named in those spots. But I personally want to see him more because I love the No More Heroes series quite a bit on the Wii. It was basically one of the bigger Wii third-party support games from Suda51. He is quite a big supporter of Nintendo, and that was one of the bigger third-party newcomer franchises that Nintendo did see during the Wii generation. It might have been a little niche, but it did have quite a bit of popularity behind it, especially the first one. And it is pretty well beloved, and Travis Touchdown is a pretty popular character, at least in the Nintendo fan base, in the gaming industry. And his series marks a new third-party franchise for Nintendo that could very well possibly be for them more in the future, because there's already talks supposedly from Suda51 that No More Heroes 3 is going to be on the Wii U, so it can continue. So they can basically build off how popular he was on the Wii, put him in the Smash Bros., make him even more popular, and boost the the sales and popularity and hype for No More Heroes 3 going onward. And Suda51, like I said, is a pretty big supporter of Nintendo. He does make games quite often for them from time to time. And he is, as far as I heard, a friend of Sakurai. So, not saying that's really going to push his chances more, but basically, Kojima was friends of Sakurai and kind of begged and pleaded and tried to get Snake in the Super Smash Bros. Melee, and it was too late. And he was a third-party character that was put into Super Smash Bros. Brawl. If Suda51 can kind of give the hint to Sakurai to put Travis Touchdown in the game, and I have seen an interview where he said he would be interested and think it would be cool to see Travis Touchdown in Super Smash Bros. We could possibly see him as such in Super Smash Bros. 4. And I personally would like to see him because I like the character a lot. Like I said, I love this No More Heroes series. It was one of my favorite third-party games, on the Wii. I played both of them, I beat both of them, and Travis Touchdown is a really awesome character. And his fighting style would work so well in Smash Bros. Yes, he'd be another sword user, but he uses the beam katana, and he wouldn't use it exactly the same as the likes of Link or Toon Link or the Fire Emblem character, like characters I said in my top 10 Nintendo characters list, like Matthew or Issa Joe. He wouldn't really fight like Ghirahim with a sword. He wouldn't be like other sword users, like Takamaru or Prince Sable or anything. He has his own style. He's more of an aggressive sword user type person with the beam katana, which we might have the beam sword as an item, but it's not the same as the beam katana, really. Not entirely, because this is a character that's focused entirely around that, and his sword fighting style is a little different. And on top of that, he wouldn't just bring sword fighting into the game. There's another side of Travis Touchdown that would make for an even more unique moveset, because we've never seen that fighting style in Smash Bros. Either, and that's his wrestling moves. We've yet to see a character that does wrestling moves in Smash Bros. He'd be able to German suplex people, tombstone people, DDT people, do all these various wrestling grapple moves and everything to his opponents, on top of the fact that he's a sword user. He's a natural fit, in my opinion, especially for some character that would have a very universal, very individual, very different, unique moveset, which is basically the characters I named on, like every single character I named in my list. And he fit in quite well, because if Snake could fit into it, he could fit into it too, because Snake is a lot more mature than what Smash Bros. Brawl made him out to be, and even though Travis Touchdown's a lot more mature than Snake was, he would obviously be toned down, and yeah, the mature sense of his character is part of what makes him awesome, but you could kind of take away the swearing and still have it be Travis Touchdown because of his moveset, because of his personality in general. And that's why I put him as my number one third-party character I want to see the most in Super Smash Bros. 4. And that's it for this top 5 list, people. We started off with number 5 with Lloyd Irving and Crest Elbane from the Tales series. We went to number 4 with Sora. Number 3 was another tied position between Simon Belmont and Trevor Belmont. Number 2 was Bomberman, and we ended it off with number 1 being Travis Touchdown. I hope you guys like this list, and see you later in my next Smash Bros. Related videos for this series of predictions, top 10 lists, top 5 lists, top whatever lists, idea videos, etc., etc., etc. Hope you guys like this video. Like I said before, have a nice day. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to, and see you guys later.